Hello, and in this episode of She Who Dares Wins, we're soaring into the world of gliding, the sport Claudia calls aerial chess. We'll trace her journey from a childhood spent moving between Afghanistan, Nigeria, and Bangladesh to her chance encounter with a glider club in Germany that changed her life forever. We're talking about the high stakes world of international competition where victory isn't about horsepower, but about reading the clouds, mastering the weather, and having the guts to land in a stranger's field when the lift runs out. Claudia shares a masterclass in pressure management. You'll hear how she went from the stress of national competitions to winning a world championship silver medal by learning to let go of the scoreboard and fly for the pure joy of it. So whether you're a fellow aviator or someone who gets dizzy looking off a balcony, this episode is a reminder that fear doesn't have to ground you. Sometimes it's the starting point for a brand new adventure. Hello and welcome to the She Who Dares Wins podcast. And my guest today is Claudia. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. All right, She Who Dares Wins. Tell me how you've dared and won.
I was thinking about that and I wondered which dare I might talk about.
I like this. This means you've done a lot.
But I think I'm really, really, really scared of heights.
Okay.
And I'm also a glider pilot.
Yes.
And a gliding instructor and a British gliding team member. So yeah, I went for that one.
Yeah, okay. So you're scared of heights. How did you know you were scared of heights? Where did that come from?
I start having panic attacks if I stand on a step ladder. And I still do, or when I go skiing and I sit on a chairlift or in the bubble in the gondola, I have to look at the mountain and not at the valley.
Okay.
It's a proper physical reaction.
Is
I get a
it?
proper
But it doesn't
panic
exist
attack.
when you're flying.
Well, most of the time it doesn't, because I just feel totally safe in the glider. The glider is designed to glide, and there's no engine that can fail. It's not going to just drop out of the sky. It's got 15-meter wingspan. It's fine. Last year, I flew a vintage glider, which didn't have a canopy. And I took a tow up to 2,500 feet and released from the tow plane that had towed us up. And I did a turn, I looked down, and I realized that I didn't have a canopy, and it felt like I could just fall out of that glider, and I had a bit of a panic attack.
Okay. Were you on your own?
I was on my own, and I thought, well, there's absolutely nothing I can do now. I didn't even wear a parachute because the glider was too small for it. It was a proper vintage glider from the 1940s or something. And so I had to talk myself through this panic attack.
Wow.
And just carry on flying, and it worked, which was actually quite nice because now I know I can talk myself through them.
Wowzers. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we should talk about how you got into gliding.
Yeah, so that was in Germany. I was at uni in Cologne, and a friend of mine took me to a gliding club 2 hours drive away, somewhere in the middle of Germany, tiny little club. I didn't know anything about gliding. And then the locals, the members in the club, tried to talk me into having a trial lesson. And I told them, don't be silly, I'm scared of heights. And they all went, don't worry about it, it's different in a glider, we're all scared of heights. And so they talked me into taking a launch, and, well, I signed the membership form on the same day, and here I am several decades later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I take it when you first go up, you're with somebody.
Yes.
It's a double.
Yeah.
Wow. So you were literally hooked from that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that first experience like?
It was a winch launch, so which is quite a rapid way to launch a glider. So you've got a stationary winch at one end of the airfield, gliders at the other end of the airfield. You've got sort of 1,000 meters of steel cable that is being towed out from the winch and hooked onto the glider, and then the winch driver winds the cable in very quickly, and the glider gets launched a bit like a kite. And then at the top of the launch, the glider releases and then flies around.
So it's like a giant catapult
Yeah,
almost. Like,
yeah.
do they still do that? That's
Oh yeah, it's a really cheap, easy launch method. It's also quite exciting. And normally at clubs where they've got both methods, winch or being towed up by another aeroplane, they do the aero tow for people who've never done it before because it's a bit more gentle.
yeah. What kind of speeds are we talking for the launch?
About 60 knots, 70, 80 miles an hour
Well, okay.
ish.
Yeah, pretty
But
intense. Yeah.
it's the initial acceleration is really, really fast, and
Yeah.
I remember it felt like my stomach was still on the ground, and we were going up in this glider.
Oh wow. So then you continue to do that through university.
Yes, yeah, and then I moved to the UK, and we were driving along the M40 on a weekend trip with some of my new colleagues, and I saw the gliders in the sky above one of the gliding clubs there, and I thought I really need to find myself a club again. So I did.
Nice. And then you've been flying in the UK ever since.
Yeah, and in Germany I only did my basic training. I got my license, but I'd never gone cross country. I did all the cross country training, instructor training, and I got into competition flying here.
Wow. So what is competition flying? What does that look like and involve?
I've been told that it's a bit like sailing. I know nothing about sailing. But anyway, so you take a launch from your home airfield, and then you're given a task round a number of turning points that could, and then back to your airfield. And whoever does that the fastest wins.
Very much like sailing. So I grew up doing like little dinghy races. Yeah, very much like that. Wow. Are you up at the same time as other people you're racing with, or do you take it in turns?
I am up at the same time, so the whole field, like up to 50 gliders, gets launched within an hour or so.
Right.
And then after the last glider has launched, the start line opens. But we don't have to cross the start line then. So there's a lot of milling about in the start sector, sometimes for 3 hours or so. Because that's part of the game, the start time tactics.
Oh.
to start in the best weather window.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there's very much a tactical.
Yeah, yeah. So I always like to call it aerial chess. So it's a lot of tactics and luck.
This is fascinating because, yeah, there's no engine in a glider,
Yeah.
so it's down to the weather. Wow. So over your years of gliding, is this something that you learn? Is it like a sixth sense, or is there like science behind it? Obviously, you know, there is weather parameters you can learn about, but how do you feel? Like, what is it like a special talent to know when to go?
As you say, some of it you can teach people. Like you look at a nice fluffy cumulus cloud with a dark flat bottom, and it's very likely that there's a thermal underneath. So a column of warm air that's
Who's going to push you up?
detached from the ground, and that's going up, and that's where we fly to that thermal, and then we start circling in it to cloud base.
Right.
And then we carry on to the next one. So that's one type of lift we can find in the UK. That's normally what we use in the summer for competitions.
Wow. So you get to a cloud, you have to circle to gently rise.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking you'd come to a cloud and then it just lift you up. That's not the case.
It kind of does, but if you carry on flying straight, then you're out of the
losing.
thermal again.
Oh, wow.
So you have to, if you want to gain a significant amount of height, you've got to
gotta be
stop
going.
and circle in it and then carry on.
Wow,
But you can also try to follow the energy. So if you fly in a straight line and you can see there are several clouds dotted along your track, then you would sort of meander a little bit to try and lose as little height as possible on your way.
So the ideal route then for when you've got this race is to stay as high as possible, but also travel to the checkpoint.
Yeah, yeah, because it's still speed. You don't, if you just stay high
Yeah.
or always take every bit of lift, then you're slow and the
Yeah.
others will overtake you.
This is fascinating. Like, it really is. Wow. And you've been really successful. Like, you've won titles, right?
Yes, and the way I got into that, again, I started flying in a tiny little club, as I said, in Germany, where people just sort of flew around for a few hours at the weekend. Then I moved to a similar club in the UK, weekend only, volunteer only. Nobody really flew competitions, and I got into instructing in that club because that was part of the natural progression in that club,
Yeah.
which was great. But competitions were for the proper pilots from the big clubs.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So how did you land yourself there?
It all seems to be sort of chance encounters for me. I went to a winter development event run by the predecessor, what's now called Women Gliding. And they tried to get women to do more cross-country flying and to get into competitions. So they talked me into flying my first competition, which was actually at Sutton Bank, the
Okay.
Northerns. And that was in 2006. And that was a regional competition, and it was just so much fun because I had a week where I had a crew, I had somebody who did the weather for me, somebody set me a task, everything was organized for me, and all I had to do was turn up and fly.
Nice.
Brilliant.
The fun bit.
Yeah. And then I got into that, and I sort of slowly got better at it. And then again, the Women Gliding women a few years later said to me, "Oh, you've flown at this other site a few times. The next national competition is at that club. You should enter." I thought, no, not in nationals. Not for me. But I did, and I didn't come last.
Nice.
And then I think 2 years later, I actually qualified for my first Women's World Gliding Championship.
Wow.
That was because I didn't land out at Northallerton.
Right, okay. This is the thing, you've got to get back to...
Yeah. Well, if everybody lands out, then that's fine.
Right.
But if the others don't land out,
Yeah.
so end up in a field, and you do, then, yeah, you're not going to win.
Okay, so this is what scares me. So you racing, and the reality is you might not make it back to the airfield where you started from. That gives me heart palpitations. Is this quite common in gliding? And if so, like, where do you land?
Farmers' fields, and we are trained for it.
Okay.
A lot of modern gliders now have got an engine.
Right.
So that comes out of behind the cockpit, out of the fuselage, and they can start the engine if they get low to avoid a landing in a field. So the engine is only there to sort of help them limp to the next airfield or back home.
Right, okay.
My glider is now 51 years old and doesn't have an engine.
Okay.
So if I run out of lift, I am in a field. But we do train for it, and I now train people to do it as well, teach people to do it, because I'm now allowed to fly the motor glider. And so before we send somebody cross-country, when we train them, they get their license, we teach them how to select fields and how to fly a field landing.
Wow.
And it's basically the same as, well, almost the same as landing at any airfield. You just plan your circuit and land in the field. And most field landings are total non-events.
Right. Wow. And does a glider have wheels?
Yeah, it's got one main wheel. So once you've touched down, you roll along on the wheel, and then one wing will gently go down.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you have to find the farmer and apologize for landing in their field and ask them how you can get the glider out without doing any damage to their field.
Yeah. Like, I mean, is there a chance that you land where they've got crops or?
Ideally, we wouldn't,
Right,
because if there's crop or anything that the farmer values, then it's likely to damage the glider.
Right.
So August is brilliant when there are stubble fields everywhere.
Right, okay.
So if you land in a stubble field, you're not doing any damage to the field or to the glider usually. And you can just tow the trailer onto the field, take the glider to bits, put it in the trailer and drive home again.
I take it to bits. So like a glider just, oh my God. It's like a Lego piece. Like you
little bit, yeah, like a model aeroplane, only bigger.
Okay. Okay. But a glider is, and I've had this conversation with my dad before, and I've been like, oh my God. Well, to give some context, is I do some drone flights next to an airfield, Rufford Airfield. Yeah. And there's a gliding club there. And I went over to get approval for me to fly my drone because I knew I was near an airfield. And very lovely people there were gliding. And then since then, I think I had a conversation with you when I met you previously. I was like, oh, wow, this my reality was thinking that you just go up in this thing that could fall apart in the air, and how on earth do you stay in the air? Learning from more pilots that have been on the show, I realise planes just don't drop out of the air. Like how does a glider work then? It is built to stay in the air, right?
Yeah, so it is essentially just an ordinary aeroplane. It's got the same controls. It's got a rudder, ailerons, elevator. So it's as controllable as any other airplane. The only thing it doesn't have is an engine.
Would you say it's safer?
I feel safer in a glider than when I now fly the motor glider. I'm always very aware that it's got an engine. I mean, a motor glider, the motor glider that I fly, the club motor glider, is a touring motor glider. So it's essentially like a light aircraft with long wings.
So when you cut the engine, it still glides. So it's effectively a glider with...
but not with a fantastic performance. So
I was thinking it would be double safe because you've got the engine plus the wings, but no, not necessarily.
Well, I guess that's one way of looking at it. But I just noticed that when I fly the motor glider, the moment I relax is actually when I'm in circuit and I think, okay, now I can reach the airfield or I can reach my landing area and I can shut the throttle, and now I'm in a glider. Now I know what I'm doing.
Right, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So going back to the nationals then, and then the worlds, what was your first worlds experience like?
Oh, it was fantastic.
Was that mixed or was it just female?
That was just female,
Okay.
so that was the women's worlds.
And is there any country that's specifically very good over the rest? Or
The UK is actually very good.
Oh, wow, okay.
And Germany, France, Czech Republic, Poland. So there are a number of pilots from a number of countries who are absolutely excellent. And yeah, this one was in France, and it was just so much fun. It was like a giant school exchange without the weird host parents. And that's what I love about the international competitions, because you meet people from all sorts of countries and make new friends, and you're all there
doing the same
thing. Yeah.
Wow. Where did this... We talked just briefly before the show, and you said your passion for travelling and exploring. Where did this come from as a child, or did it not? Like, do you think there was something always in you that knew that you wanted to be in a plane and explore and go to different countries?
Going to different countries, yes, because, as we talked about
Yeah,
earlier.
let's get into that. So you were born in Afghanistan, which is, amazing.
Well, it's where my mum happened to be at the time, so nothing I did
Yeah,
could do about it.
No choice. And then tell us where you went from there, because it's quite a bit of a whirlwind, right, in your early years.
Yes, because my dad worked for a private company in Afghanistan and got a taste for adventure and living in interesting countries. So he then got a job project managing for a German government agency, development aid agency. And so we moved to Nigeria, stayed there for 2 years, I think. It was usually 2 or 3 years. And then we moved to Bangladesh and then to Ivory Coast.
Wow.
And I remember Bangladesh and Ivory Coast. I was too young in Nigeria and Afghanistan. But I just remember we came back to Germany when I was 8. And I just knew I was going to travel. And I knew I was going to do a job where I was going to live abroad.
Because you've been exposed to such amazing countries early on.
Yeah, and I loved flying in the big planes.
Yeah.
And I still get very excited when I fly somewhere in a commercial aircraft and we're at the start of the runway and it starts accelerating. It feels so exciting.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's incredible. I'm not the opposite, but I'm like, oh gosh, I'm getting better the more I learn about planes. And you'd think I'd overcome a fear of flying after all these years, but
You should come fly with me.
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm getting better at looking at what the fear is and understanding from a science background. Like, it's these things are meant to fly. This is how things are.
Yeah.
With a glider though, like how high are you going?
It depends on the weather.
Mm-hmm.
So in the UK, in the summer, if cloud base is about 5,000 foot, that's sort of as high as we normally go. I was lucky enough to fly one Women's Worlds in Australia.
Oh wow, I bet that was cool.
Yeah, where cloud base was 12,000 foot.
Oh, so much higher.
Yeah, and I got up to 12,000 foot. So that was...
Is that what does a commercial go at?
about 30,000, I think. But yeah,
Right.
12,000 you need oxygen.
Yeah.
So I had a
Wow.
little cannula.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. And what's it like when you're up there on your own? Like, what's the appeal? Is it that very thing of just you and no noise?
It's what I love about gliding is that it's all sorts of different things, and it's whatever people want to get out of it. And I love the exhilaration of racing, but I also love just floating about at the end of the day when it's totally smooth and just looking at the countryside, and when you've got maybe a bit of fog or a few clouds below you even, or in the distance, and it's just so beautiful. And I love sightseeing from the air.
God, yeah. Imagine
it
the things
just-
that you can see, right? Because you're at quite a nice level that you're not too far
Yeah.
up. And when you're in a commercial plane, you kind of miss all that quite quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get to cruise around and see into people's back gardens, really.
Yeah, not quite that close.
No,
If I'm that low, I'm quite busy
struggling.
because I'll be finding a field.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah, I sometimes fly from the Oxford Gliding Club, and you can fly over Oxford and have a look at all the colleges and stuff.
I was going to ask you about this. So you do, because I'm thinking you would only fly in rural areas for safety reasons, but that's not the case. Then you can fly over cities, I guess.
It depends where. So obviously, like Leeds, Bradford has got a lot of prohibited airspace because of the airport. So we have to follow the airspace rules like anybody else who flies.
Yeah.
And you will know about that as a drone pilot.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, but it's also very good, like that you do because it's so safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So there are bits of the country we're allowed to fly in. In some bits, we have to stay below a certain height. Other places, we have to stay above a certain height. But there are also areas where there are hardly any restrictions.
If you're getting pushed up by hot air, but just say that you can't go above a certain level, like how do you, without a motor, how do you kind of control that? Is it, can you just push down? Right, okay.
I've got air brakes.
Oh, okay.
So I can control my rate of descent with
Right.
air brakes. I mean, that's a last resort. If I'm high, I
Yeah.
would just
going.
fly straight and fly faster to get away from,
Ah, okay.
or to stay at the same height or to go lower again.
Right, okay.
But when we come into land on the airfield, I use my air brakes to control exactly how much I descend and where I touch down.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So I've got the same controls
As a normal plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went to Australia, had an amazing experience there, and then what happened after Australia?
After Australia, COVID happened
Ah, right, yeah.
because we were in Australia at the end of 2019, beginning of 2020.
Okay.
And I remember flying back and in January and thinking, what's this about this thing happening?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a pandemic yet.
No,
at
because it was
that point.
March, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That it kind of really came in, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and so no gliding happened for several months.
Mm-hmm.
And the next Women's Worlds were postponed by a year.
Right.
But they were hosted in the UK.
Ah.
So I thought I've got to do those. So I qualified for those.
Yeah.
And I thought that's going to be my last one. Because they're really expensive.
Ah, right, okay.
And because gliding isn't an Olympic sport, you don't get
No
any
sponsorship or anything.
national, any lottery funding or anything. So the British Gliding Association tries to support us, but hasn't got much money. So it's really quite expensive. So I thought, okay, I'll just do the ones at Husbands Bosworth near Leicester in 2022, and then I'll retire from being a top international athlete.
Yeah.
And that's the video you saw, where
Oh,
I
right.
then ended up winning the silver medal.
Yeah.
So my first medal and in a women's world gliding championship. And that meant that I had automatically qualified for the one in Spain.
Right.
So of course I had to go to that because it would be rude not to.
Of course. Of course. Represent your country, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not even your country, is it? Do you,
Well, it is. I've got both nationalities.
Right, okay.
now.
You're British now.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, because I was thinking you could switch and represent Germany, right?
I could. I have to leave a gap.
Right.
And I think I might have to be a resident in Germany.
Oh, okay.
But if I ever move to Germany, then
you could, yeah.
I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, and then last year, again, I only flew the nationals because they were at my club.
Right.
And I thought, well,
Why not?
it's fun and it's at my club, and I ended up coming second in the nationals.
Wow.
Which meant that I actually ended up having a place in the unrestricted Europeans, so the mixed Europeans, where I'll probably be one of 2 or 3 women amongst about 100 blokes.
Wow.
And I thought, well, if I've got a place in the unrestricted comp, I've got to go.
Yeah.
I've got to fly the flag for women in gliding.
Yeah. So is this coming up then?
Yes, that's this year in
Exciting.
July, at the end of July,
And where is that based?
in Poland.
Nice.
So we'll take the trailer there. We'll go on the ferry.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your husband helps out with it and supports you in everything that you do. I love how this thing that you just completely fell into
Yes.
became a thing,
I
and
know.
then you can't avoid it now. Like you've just there didn't seem to be huge amounts of pressure because you just turn up, right, and for the enjoyment of it, and then you end up, placing and getting a really good place. That's amazing.
There was pressure which I put on myself
Right. Okay.
after my first Women's Worlds.
Yeah.
I had progressed so quickly. I've thought, quickly. I started flying in '94, and I did my first comp in 2006, and I did my first Women's Worlds in 2013. So some people might say that wasn't an overnight success.
Yeah.
But,
True.
but I then put myself under a lot of pressure, and I remember one competition, one nationals in 2014, I think, which should have been a brilliant competition. We had 8 flying days. We were sent to the Norfolk coast. It was just fantastic flights, and I hated every minute of it.
Because of the pressure.
Yeah. And then after that, I thought, okay, I either stop flying competitions or I try not to feel the pressure. And I'll just take every day as it comes, and I won't worry about what I did yesterday and whether it went well or not. I won't even look at the scores from yesterday. I will just concentrate on today's flight. And suddenly I sort of improved again.
Fascinating. Very much ties into a guest that was on this morning who talked about releasing pressure from running.
Okay, yeah.
And how when you do that, you go way further. Mm-hmm. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, so now my strategy is generally just to go and have fun, and then I usually do okay.
People need to hear that though, don't they? I think it's so important because, when you've got that pressure, it's just you set yourself up almost to fail. And you go back to just the pure enjoyment of probably what you experienced in your first ever gliding.
Yeah.
And then it just happens.
Yeah.
So naturally.
Yeah. And we don't win anything. It's not like
okay.
Wimbledon
Yeah.
or the Football World Cup or whatever. We get a trophy. One of them looks a bit like a metal Pringles box, and you've got to return it after 2 years.
Wow. So it purely has to be for the enjoyment, right?
Yeah.
Because all this costs, so you've got to get your plane there, you've got to, so it is purely for the love of the sport.
Yeah.
And what's the community like? I know, I think when we met, you were talking about trying to get more women into gliding. What is that changing? Are we getting more female flyers?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
And I'm now in a gliding club which is possibly one of the most diverse clubs in the country, the London Gliding Club at Dunstable. Okay. But that might be because of the catchment area. It's near London.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And I listened to your podcast, your interview with Mandy.
Yes, Mandy Hickson.
And I recognized a lot of the things and what you talked about in your job in engineering, and the sort of the dinosaurs that still exist.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, but they will become extinct.
Yes. We only wish that it's sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah, so there are still some in gliding, but there are more women in gliding now, and also what Mandy talked about, the allies. If we can have male allies who support us, who speak up when somebody comes out with something totally inappropriate.
Yeah, I'm having flashbacks here because there was a gliding club that I did go to. Again, it was near an airfield. And when I turned up, I explained, again, I'm doing a drone flight, commercial, blah, blah. And the guy pretty much went, if you need somebody to do aerial photogrammetry, like I'm putting on a voice, but he was quite posh. We've got this, we do this, and I was like, I've just explained that is my job, and
That's
you're
what
now
I'm doing.
and you're now pitching for a man to do it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Like I came out as thinking, and I actually went to the client that I was working for, and I was like, I don't know what just happened. He was like, did you go to the gliding club? And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, they are a wild bunch. He was like, did somebody mansplain something to you? And I was like, absolutely. But I was like, it was so like outrageously bad that I was like, no, this is not happening. But it was happening. And then I remember chatting briefly again to the woman who was on reception. When I turned up again just to warn them, because nobody answered the phone. So I went up to warn them I was doing another flight, and this guy came out from the back and completely like over. I just needed to tell her to pass it on for the morning meeting, the briefing.
Yeah.
And he just came in and I was like, we were just having a conversation. She could have answered my questions.
Yeah.
I was just, So I have known people say that some gliding clubs can be a bit like that. So a little bit of an insight in. But it's good. It's like most things, isn't it? It's just change. It's time. And the only way we can change cultures like that is by getting more women in to then filter out the crap.
Yeah, and in aviation, I think most types of aviation, there are fewer than 10%
Yeah, it's
women.
still pretty low, right? Yeah.
So, it is still a fairly male environment.
Yeah.
And it is getting a bit more enlightened and a bit more inclusive. But I remember when I started flying competitions, you rock up on the Friday and you've got to go to control and register and show your documents and stuff. So I would go to control. My husband sometimes comes with me, and control would look at my husband and say, so what do you fly? Which class are you flying? What's your name? And he would go, no, it's her.
I love that. I absolutely love it.
And so now when we've got trial lessons, people are coming to the club for trial lessons, and it's a bloke and a woman, I always make a point of asking the woman whether she's booked the trial lesson for herself.
Oh, nice.
Most of the time, it's still the
the
bloke
guy
who gets the lesson, but
Yeah.
I always try and talk the woman into it.
I like secretly recruiting.
Yes, and sort of some reverse gender bias.
Yes, yeah, I like it. I like the style. Do you think there's a bit of a fear factor then with women trying gliding? Or is it just not one of... It's not a thing that you would think about to do, I guess. It's like sailing.
Yeah.
Unless you've got an introduction.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, I'm guessing, something people sort out.
Yeah, that's how it happened for me. And I mean, Germany is a gliding nation. That's
Right.
where it all started. And I didn't know anything about gliding, which is really embarrassing.
Wow, not really. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But it's this, you can't be what you can't see
Yes.
as well. So even if somebody introduced you to a gliding club, if you go there and you're the only woman or the only young person or the only non-white person, then you feel out of place.
Yeah.
And so in my club now, what's really lovely is when there's a new club member or somebody on a trial lesson, a woman or a girl, the instructors will now introduce them to me or to one of the other female members and say, talk to Claudia, she'll tell you all about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So we've got a good community going, both within the club and also the wider gliding community, which is women gliding. So
Right.
I'm involved in that as well.
Oh, super.
But gliding is generally just a brilliant community worldwide,
Right.
whether male or female, whatever. I've met so many interesting and lovely people in all sorts of countries. Just when I go to a new country on holiday or something, like we went to New Zealand for our honeymoon, so I contacted a local gliding club, and I was invited to go there by the person I'd contacted, and the weather wasn't that great. So he just took me up in his powered aircraft. He said, oh, you're here, come fly with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I've been offered accommodation and dinners and flights
wow.
and all sorts of stuff.
So it's a super
brilliant.
community once
Yeah,
you're in it.
yeah.
And what's it like to take somebody up for the first time? Do they sit in front of you, behind you?
In front of me, because we've got training two-seaters. We've got, it's a tandem two-seater. So the idea is that the student sits in front, because once they go solo, everything will look and feel the same,
right, okay.
only it'll be quieter.
Yeah.
Because the instructor won't be in the back just constantly talking at you.
So there's no headphones, but so you literally are, it's like you're sat in front of somebody, they're talking to you from behind.
Yeah.
And what kind of experiences do you think they have? Like, has anyone fed back to you, what it's like, and what do you see? Do you hear? Are they quiet? What's that experience like?
I've had a few people who were really, really apprehensive, and I always make it clear to them that it's their flight. So I do what they want me to do.
Okay.
And if they get up there and they realize they absolutely hate it and they want to go back down now, then I can get the glider back to the ground in a controlled manner in about 2 minutes.
Oh, wow. That quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But most of I don't think I've ever had to do that. Once they were up there, I would just show them how smooth and gentle and lovely and quiet it is. And also, I would then show them how the controls work, and then they can have a go at flying it. And if they're sort of white-knuckled, I would just say, okay, let go of the controls. Who do you think the glider is flying the glider now? Well, I'm not, and you're not. The glider's flying by itself. It's not going to fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
Just relax.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I've had feedback from people who said I was so scared, and it was just brilliant.
So does adverse weather affect, like, can it be unsafe at all?
Yeah, I mean, if it's really windy, we wouldn't fly. If there are thunderstorms nearby, we wouldn't fly. So if it's snowing, we don't fly. Hail, that kind of thing. And
So has there any been a time where you've gone up and the weather's, because like the weather, we can't really predict it too much in the UK. Is there a point in time where you go up and then weather changes and that means you just come back down? Like, that's quite common?
Yeah, not common. I mean, not whether that's really dramatic.
Yeah.
I've had, I can think of maybe 2 or 3 occasions where I went up and then had to land in the rain, which is really unpleasant, or came back down because I wanted to land just before it started raining.
Okay.
And then we got soaked when we were on the ground.
But you're pretty good at you must be pretty good at reading the weather then.
Yeah, and you can see it. You can see showers. When you're up there, you think, oh, that one's coming closer, I'll land now.
Is it
or
just
you
not
can
pleasant?
sometimes fly around it if you're going cross country.
Okay, yeah. So, and turbulence, is that a thing that you get with a glider?
Yeah, what power pilots call turbulence quite often is what we call thermals, and we want them.
Because they're going to push you up.
Exactly. So if there's movement in the air and warm air going up,
But
that's
you don't
good.
But you don't get the sudden drop, or can you still get the sudden drops?
Well, you still get the up and down movements, and that can be reasonably pronounced. But we're used to sort of the glider
Bouncing up and down a little bit.
bouncing up and down a bit, yes.
And there's me going, no,
You should come and fly with me.
Whenever there's turbulence in a commercial plane, I'm like, I've read so much about it, and again, had so many pilots on the show. They're like, it's just completely natural. Like, and I'm sure, like that whole water bottle scenario. If you hold a water bottle, it's actually not that bad. My brother was on that really bad Portugal flight. I think it was like last year, where it was on the news because it had to divert, and like literally the whole cabin was just like trashed inside. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, but actually, and he's quite a nervous flyer, he said the worst thing was people's reactions. He was like, the reality of it, whilst you're in it, he was like, that heightened everything. So it's like most things, isn't it, during the storm, if you can keep yourself calm.
Yes, and you're high enough, so you've got a lot of air between you and the ground, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. It's so cool. And it's so cool to see more women getting in, and being excited by it because it is a sport, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh. So you keep trying to retire,
Yes.
but it's not going to allow you. You've got this year. What after that, or are you just every day as it comes?
Every day as it comes. I mean, I really need to find some source of income
To help support, yeah.
yeah, because I'm a translator by trade.
Oh no, is AI kicked?
Yep.
Oh God.
So
Right,
so
okay.
I'm still researching options. And
Language teacher?
yeah, that's one of the options
Yeah.
I'm looking at. Teaching English as a foreign language because I reckon my English is now good enough.
Yeah, very much so. Do you speak any other languages other than German and English?
German, English, very rusty Spanish, and rusty French.
All right. Yeah.
So
Could get through.
yeah, I mean, if I spent some time in the country or put my mind to it, I would get back into it. I did French at school, A levels, and Spanish at uni. So
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, so yeah, English language teaching, German tutoring, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I yeah, and last year I actually worked as a gliding instructor for
Actually, I was
for
going
a
to say,
while.
yeah, is that like not a natural thing?
Yes, it doesn't pay well at all.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good fun, but
Yeah.
it's also really hard work, and it's a really skilled job.
Yeah. Yeah, because doing one thing and then teaching it is very
Yeah.
different, right?
Yeah, and it just, yeah, that was a lot of fun,
Right.
sort of adapting my teaching to the various different students and
Different personalities.
different personalities, different language skills as well. So and as a translator and as a non-native speaker of English, I'm very aware of jargon and what to avoid and how to make myself understood, and that's fun as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And then, right, I've got a final question for you. My brain's like, whoa, flying, this is so cool. Let me tell you what we're doing for time. Yeah, final question. Where's the best place that you've had a flight?
Oof. Australia was great,
Okay.
and the Alps.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've flown in the Slovenian and Austrian Alps,
Oh, nice.
and that was brilliant.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Through the valleys or, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the Austrian Alps are fairly neatly organized. I love how the Alps follow the stereotypes of the countries.
Swiss on time,
Yes, French a bit disorganized.
organised, but looks decent.
Looks lovely.
Yeah.
And the German and Austrian Alps are very neatly lined up from
Okay.
east to west. They've got decent valleys between them where you can land if it doesn't work. It's very obvious. It's a lot more obvious where the lift will be. And then if you fly west in the Austrian Alps, you look left and you see the Dolomites, which look a total mess, but so beautiful.
Right, yeah, Italians. Oh, I love it.
So yeah. And I'll be flying in the Alps again this June because...
Or is that where the championship?
No, but a friend of mine who introduced me to flying in the Alps, she's an instructor at the German Alpine Gliding School.
Nice.
And she's flying a competition, and she told me that she's booked a 2-seater and I'm flying with her.
Epic. I love it. I love it how you're just, along for the ride and having this most epic time.
Yeah. She
Amazing.
doesn't know yet that I'm only along for the ride, but yeah, that's the plan.
I feel like she's got more in store for you. Oh, it's amazing. Listen, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's
No, thank
incredible. And I'm very intrigued in gliding.
Yes,
Thanks.
we should fly together.
We will. That's my
Yeah.
dare, right?
Yeah, absolutely.